Hi, and welcome back to LeThan's Art, Episode 5. We will be painting in watercolors today, and Hambi is back for another episode.
Thanks. Excited to be back and to see you actually live paint something. What are you painting?
I am painting this line. So, what I'm painting on is arches. This comes in a block.
Mm-hmm.
This is cold press, meaning the paper is a bit on the toothy side to it. There's also hot press, which is that pinkish one I had earlier from my last episode. But before I do that, I just wanted to show you a couple more old paintings that I took off Aaron Blaze's class. So this is a bison I painted. And what's interesting about this is that the snow and the sky are the same color.
That's nice.
And here's
like
a cheetah, which took some time.
I like this one too.
So now we will just go straight into this. And you asked me last episode what I'm using to draw, and here's just a big ballpoint pen because of the waterproofing of it.
I'm not sure actually if the camera saw this cheetah up here. I don't want them to miss it because it's kind of nice.
Here's the cheetah.
It's pretty good. I like that a lot. So I guess this is going to be your animal watercolor book. For now, maybe.
Yeah.
Nice.
For right now.
Okay.
So what I usually do when I paint in the watercolors is I usually just give myself a border, which I just do in regular pen. So I can write a title around it, which I will do later. And I'm going to start the sketchbook. I'm going to start putting in a sketch. I'm going to start in pencil. I might go into the ballpoint pen in a second. And I have some Winsor Newton watercolors. This is a little travel kit.
Right.
That I have. And I'll show you how to close it when I'm done. And here's another little. This is the lid.
Oh, nice.
So as you know from my previous episodes, when I draw, I usually put in some guidelines so I can know where I'm looking. Can you see this?
Yeah. They should be able to see that.
So, what I'm looking at here is, I'm going to move this over. Here's that vertical line going down. Here's the horizontal line where his back comes across right here. So you're looking at this. So if this is his back coming across like this, this might get erased. His head kind of comes there. And the tricky things about drawing animals is the legs. However, he's in the open savanna, so there are no legs to worry about.
Oh, nice. Convenient.
So I'm gonna take this head shape that I sketched in where this head goes, and I'm gonna make another line like this, another axis, and then put this line like this. And that's the side of his face. So I'm gonna erase this back for a second. And I'm using a towel to wipe this all down so I don't get So the lion's head comes down and his nose comes like this. And then this becomes more interesting when I start adding paint to this. So at the bridge of this nose is where the eyes come in, like this. And then the side of this face comes here. So I extended this over a little more than I wanted to.
Guess that's why you use pencil to begin with.
It depends on what I'm drawing. If it's something easy, like some trees, then yeah, I might go pen. But for an animal, I need it to be as close to accurate as possible.
Makes sense.
Thing about drawing eyes is you gotta make sure they're even. And the side is like this, and that comes down. And then right at the bottom of that circle that we drew starts in the mouth. And this mouth comes like this. And it comes like this. And then we put in, start sketching in a name. It's okay if I don't get as close to the picture as possible. I'm not trying to copy the person's picture.
You're just using that, I guess, as a reference.
Yeah.
Mostly for the scaling of the lion.
Yeah. Just trying to make it my own.
Yeah. Makes sense. I see you've zoomed in a little bit too.
The ear is up here. This other ear is behind the main, like that. And then I just put on here. In the back. This is the mane, the shoulder comes here. And the leg gets hidden down there. There's some more mane there. And his belly comes there. And this is also Safina. Marks for the whiskers.
Do you typically, when you're doing watercolor paintings, have this much detail in the sketch beforehand?
Again, it depends on the drawing. When I start, so that's it for the sketch. I just
Okay.
so now. These are my brushes. So I'm gonna start with this round brush. And watercolor is, you have to go lights to darks, because if you do it the other way, it's a watercolor and it's transparent, so you can't really put lights on top. You can't really go darks and then put lights, because it just doesn't work.
So you start off with the light colors, and you work your way towards the darker ones. Otherwise, if you do that, I guess it would just, the dark ones would take over, or something. I'll trust your judgment for that.
So most of this picture, you'll see a lot of yellows and browns and ochres and
Yeah, there's some blues there too. Well, in the sky, I don't know.
So I'm starting with a nice ochre.
Okay.
And the thing is that you want to keep on adding water. So I'm going to start in the face. I might switch to a bigger brush in a second. But this is just to get the outline in. You know, I already have to go back to a bigger brush. So I'm going to move into a flat brush like this. And I'm going to put in the main two the same color. We're going to play around with this.
When you put all the colors in there, do they blend together or do they kind of overlap? I guess I'll find out when they put the next color what happens.
You can glaze it over, but in order to glaze over, it needs to be complete dry.
Oh.
So if that's the case, you might hear a blow dryer going on soon.
Okay. Otherwise, they do kind of blend.
Yeah, but the other trick is that you don't want to put more than like at least two colors, three if that. You don't want to mix more than a couple, or else it's just gonna be colors just gonna become muddy.
I see.
I have another trick with watercolor, but we're not at the point to show you.
So we basically have the whole line as with this base color.
Yes. You can see I kind of painted in the bottom half of the savannah, but it's kind of the same color.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, you can see in that photograph it blends very well.
Right, so there's our base.
Okay.
We're gonna put in the rest of the savannah after that. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit this with a blow dryer to go to the next stage.
All right. That's a nice trick.
All right, it's not complete dry, but here's the job. So I'm gonna go into the nose now, and I'm gonna go into a raw umber, which is like a dark brown,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna paint in the nose. I'm gonna switch back to the thin brush. Before I start pulling up the browns, you can see a lot of what looks like black, but the thing with the watercolors is that black watercolor just doesn't look good. It becomes a little too gray.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually go with some ultramarine and some browns.
Okay.
Lines have really dark lips. And black are on the eye as well. I might actually go in a brush pen at the very end of this, but I can't really do right now because it's wet.
Right.
Start bringing in some other colors.
Mm-hmm.
This is burnt sienna, which kind of gives it a little red to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you know that little trick that I told you about? I'm purposely what looks like I might be messing up. I might do something in a second.
Okay.
So right here, I've added a little too much brown.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is
Notice that.
here's some of my paper towel off.
Huh.
Soak it in this water.
Huh.
And soak up the paint.
Oh, how about that? So you did that specifically as an effect, or you did that to show that you can do that if you mess up?
Both.
Because I see it does have a slightly different effect than just the straight paint on there.
All right, so we are gonna let this dry and we'll be right back.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start putting in some darks. It helps with the effects too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into some ultramarine blue.
Mm-hmm.
Mix it in with a little brown. And we're gonna get a very dark color.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be your black alternative.
Yes.
Right? I see. Makes sense. Keep the brown shade.
Now it's dark, but it can still look darker.
Mm-hmm.
By painting around the chin,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna paint in the negative, some negative shapes.
Mm.
And all of a sudden you got hairs there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get a nice dark mane.
Mm.
kind of a brownish reddish.
Mm-hmm.
And leaving a little yellow from behind. I'm just gonna paint in the whole main of this color.
Yeah.
This is a mix between a ultramarine blue raw sienna and a burnt sienna. But they all go together. You don't want to go any more than this. Any other color.
I see. So keep how many colors? 3?
3 at the most.
In the entire painting. Well, in this style there.
In whatever color you're mixing together.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the mixings. Okay. Right.
I'm gonna outline some of his shoulders and back. And that right there. Now we're gonna add a little more ultramarine to this and treat this like a shadow. But I need to blow dry.
That trick works pretty well.
And this ultramarine gives a little shadow to it. A little more in the brown. We're gonna add a little yellow to the chin, but the chin is white, so I'm purposely doing that.
It's nice.
So we got that line in. I'm gonna go back. To my wash brush. Flat. Go back into some ochres. Add a bunch of yellows and oranges together. Just to give it a slight temperature change.
once you finish that, once you put in those last colors, it really comes together nicely.
So I'm gonna go into the brush pen, but I have to dry this very well.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, let me hold
paints.
these paints down. So without this hair dryer, you would just be relying on time. You would just wait for it to dry, I guess, right? Hmm. So you're going back in now and re-outlining some of those features that got lost from the watercolors.
Yeah. Problem is that this brush pen, it doesn't really work that well, so I'm actually gonna cheat and pull out art. I'm gonna see if I've never done this part before, so I'm actually gonna see if this very dark gray pen takes care of the situation.
Oh yeah, looks pretty good. Very nice.
Alright, I'm gonna go into old jelly roll pen,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna add some whiskers to this guy. And we're gonna call it a finish painting, but I'm gonna
Very nice.
write my show name right there. Today's date,
I think today's the
12th.
yeah, August 12th.
Alright, thank you all for joining us,
Thanks for having me here.
and I will see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.